there and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lydia and I am a wife, a stay-at-home mom, and an Orthodox Christian. And today I wanted to talk about how I try at least to stay rooted in my faith as an Orthodox Christian in a secular world. So grab your favorite cup of coffee or tea, maybe grab a snack, and let's just jump right into the video. Also, quick side note, I am wearing a head covering right now. Today is actually Sunday as I'm filming this video, and so I just left it on from church. I think it actually looks pretty cute. Maybe this will be a new look for me. I don't know. We'll see if I can stick with it, but I really like it. So welcome. Hi there. So it's Editing Lydia. I just want to apologize quick for the lighting outside. I rely heavily on natural lighting, if you can't already tell. And so the day that I chose to film this on was for the most part sunny, but there were still some clouds that were rolling in. And so it kept getting kind of like really bright and then dark and bright again. So I am sorry if that bugs you at all. I know that it bugs me. And so I wasn't sure about you guys, but thank you for being here so far. And yeah, let's just jump right back into the video. So if you're new here or maybe haven't heard before, I actually grew up in the Orthodox Church. I am what they refer to as a cradle Orthodox Christian. So I always knew that my morals and values were a bit different from that of secular society. But I think that this contrast of my morals and values from the Orthodox Church versus that of the world really started to set in after I got married and was preparing to have my first, or my oldest, I should say, daughter named Juliana. That is when I really started to take a step back and reflect on what my morals and values actually meant to me. I think one of the biggest differences I've noticed is the whole mindset of everything. So in the Orthodox Church, it teaches that we are to serve God and others and to put God above all else. Whereas secular society teaches us that we need to put ourselves first and worry about what makes us happy and then go from there. And while joy is beautiful and from God, that self-centered way of thinking only leads to an emptiness and a void that only God can fill. And I'll be honest, sometimes it can be really difficult for me to share my faith. Not that I'm ashamed of it, but because there's a lot of people who don't really understand what it is or have never heard about it themselves. I remember trying to describe it to my friends in school or trying to tell my coworkers about why we fast or why we celebrate Christmas on January 7th instead of December 25th. And everybody always would give me confused looks or just puzzled looks. And of course they were really nice about it, but I would always just then change the subject because nobody quite understood. And I get it. Orthodoxy isn't super flashy. It's sacrificial and it's quiet. However, it's one of the most beautiful things that I've ever known. And I feel so blessed and fortunate to have been born into a home that raised me in the faith. There are also times when I feel overwhelmed or stressed out, and it's in those moments that I really try my best to remember God and to ask for help from his different saints or his mother. I have found that asking them to pray to God for me has really helped me to feel peace, as well as saying the Jesus prayer, which for those of you who don't know, it's a very simple prayer that just goes like, Lord Jesus Christ, Son of God, have mercy on me, a sinner. And saying these prayers really helps to anchor me. So they're definitely something that I like to kind of keep in my toolbox to bring out when I am feeling overwhelmed and super stressed out. I also used to think that success was measured by the career that we got or about how much money we make. And now I realize that it's not about that. It's about living a life that is pleasing to God. And I didn't even think about femininity. In fact, I try to be gentle and nurturing at home as well in the way that I talk and present myself. I really want to reflect Christ. Of course, I am far from perfect, but it is something that I am really trying to work on to create a peaceful little church in our home. For me, it's not about performance or perfection, it's about living with intention. In public school, I often felt like I stood out from everybody else or that I didn't fit in. However, I did have kind friends throughout pretty much the entire time that I went to school who at least were understanding of me and my faith. However, as I got older, I started to find Orthodox women's groups on Facebook, as well as some friends over on Instagram. And so these groups have really helped me a lot, as well as going to an in-person postpartum support group that had other fellow Christian moms in there as well. So if you're trying to live for Christ in a culture that is also trying to pull you in the other direction, just remember that you're not alone. Pray and ask God to help you out, and He certainly will. He wants what's best for all of us, and He wants us to obtain salvation. It's a call to live differently, not perfectly, but faithfully. So just remember that if you're feeling discouraged. I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to comment, subscribe, or like. Next week, I plan on sharing this really fun vlog video, God willing. So I hope that you come back for that. And I hope that you all have a beautiful, lovely week. Until next time, bye.
They are not of the world, even as I am not of it. This not of the world isn't a rejection of joy or beauty, but it's a reminder to discover those in deeper places, in Holy Communion, in the prayers of the saints, in serving others more than myself. May these words comfort you when the world feels too loud. You were created for an eternal kingdom. We are reminded that we belong to a different kingdom, one marked by love, self-giving, and eternal hope. As I think about this verse, I see that the world is a hurried place, an endless pursuit of self-gratification. That's when I feel a gentle tug. You do not belong here. That tug is meant to draw us closer to the source of true life, not isolate us.